I will have order.
This was well done.
Now disappear!
You need to hurry up.
You're toast!
Roasted fried.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
You need to hurry up. This was well done. Seemed to work. Let's not waste time. Let's end this quickly.
Booba, get
Harden up.
Huh? Didn't see that coming. Wait,
Feel thought.
everybody stand!
nice and spicy!
Let's get this show on the road!
Use this first. What an annoyance. Let's end this quickly. That seemed to work. This is trouble.
Solidify! Order guide you!
Hey, yeah!
Step right up!
Let's end this quickly.
Stabilize!
A round of applause!
This isn't good.
Hip. And voila!
Solidify!
And now I'll make it all disappear. Just kidding.
Gather!
Out of the frying pan!
Going in! Adventure time!
I will have order!
Here comes the finale! Step right up! I wonder if this chest is some kind of trick. I wonder if this chest is some kind of trick. Hip. Hip.
I see your power. Rise! Stabilize! This is order.
Everybody stand back!
Solidify!
Magic can't cheat death, you know. I wonder if this chest is some kind of trick.
We go!
This is no time for distractions. Seriously, you have a great magi- Hip. Ah! Tch.
Teamwork is strict!
Gather!
Let's get this show on the road. Tch.
Ad Astra. Thank you for coming.
Quake! Rise! Crumble!
Palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Nervalet's files are really secure.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Lyney.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Lyney's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
Please come in.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah, and if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later? Great. Let's go then.
Great, the weather's clearing up. I wonder if there's someone up there performing magic too.
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home. Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene. Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired. You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live, and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict, but once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you're involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case.
But things are...
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into...
I am the butler, after all. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake.
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used... If the vendors didn't change after several rounds of testing and investigative... The first is Flora...
Huh?
Yes, surprise. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's... oh...
If you want to invest...
Of course.
You're too kind. And before I forget, proving Boss's after that incident, if it might help...
Aw, thank
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work...
That seeing is believing. There's no limit to the number of tricks I can pull off.
It is settled that...
Thank you for arranging.
Excuse me, miss.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her.
I'm sorry,
But
aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you. And to all of us.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me he had many regrets, and felt so when Mr. Callis came, he tried to be as...
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really...
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword, he must have done...
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you. I'm very grateful. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the...
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florence should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on, he didn't even want to... Did he lose all...
About that, I'll tell you everything.
I understand. And if I may just say, many people have... But it was Mr. Cal... No matter what...
Don't worry. You and all are up... Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure there isn't?
I mean, where I work, Callis did a fantastic... It would be next to impossible. Anyway.
Yes. What happened at the opera house?
Ah, if you want to go through the original...
That'd be much...
Of course. Why do you ask?
Well, you see... So... if you...
If I had to make an analogy... When you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. If you try to make removing a cereal, so I can promise you, they're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must...
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, jokes aside, I'll be staying in the city for a little...
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Mars. Sure. I will...
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young.
Oh, it's all. I just wanted to talk.
Yes,
Oh, you.
that's right. I also witnessed to beat the Hydro.
Oh, Paimon does.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is.
Uncle Marcel.
Yes,
Exactly.
Oh.
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also if not for the vigilant.
Alas. But rest assured, if anyone dare.
Thank you, Uncle. Do you have any news?
The confrérie was. Then I heard the sound of.
Oh, it's okay.
Sounds good. All my wealth comes.
We've talked to all.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Anyway.
But where should we start? You're right.
According to Jacques.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Huh. So, what would make more sense from his perspective? Makes sense. Besides Jacques, it's obvious that.
Do you think.
Given everything that's. But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Thierry, you say? But. I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha.
Yeah. Had he actually tipped if the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find.
Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the still really. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight Florent? But
So you're saying he.
Exactly. He can't. Who could it be? You know, if you think everything
Could we be missing other?
The suspect is. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and spec.
Yes. We need far more.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been.
Huh? Aren't you the.
Yeah. News came.
Wasn't that place built specifically?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right. Because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Since this is a trial about the... You're right. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence.
We'll help you.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you...
We heard. It's our hope that you're...
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Aranias, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malu's info. Let's go and try to find the entrance. Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to this... your Navia's probably...
It would appear that I must repeat my questioning. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right? In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorinde, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him! You've got the wrong man!
Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway, so I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, Who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières!
Huh? What confrérie?
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged.
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial. Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened...
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that case.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone...
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance Jacques lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarande in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father after that, the true culprit turned the third person into water. Thank you for this. However, we should... The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating. However, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit... This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for... A pile of clothing, but now it is since it... Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
That's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? 1. Do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid... I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably...
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Nerva...
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from my father could have exposed it for all to see, but at that time, Spina di Rosula was in doubt what was certain.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target.
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of them, but what good would that do? How had this opera house ever given my father any kind? But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will...
So, you mean to say...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need... I don't need your apology, your guilt, but since he entrusted his will to you,
during...
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more...
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearance?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think, do you know what the biggest flaw in your
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyway.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, Demoiselle.
No.
Is there anything else you'd like to? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the
Seems like she got the wrong. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings and to stop rushing headlong.
This isn't just about me. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the many people's and whose is it a man named Vacher?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know that name.
I've merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to...
Solidified! I will have order!
The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place. Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising! Now we can swim to the top! But this is still a ways away from where we need to go. Everybody stand nice and spicy.
Here comes the finale. Disappear! Let's get this show on the road! Hip!
Now the path is clear! Let's go! Take cover! Take cover! That's gonna hurt in the morning. Adventure time! Get out of here! Take cover! No ingredients for me today. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Race you.
Gather.
Teamwork is strength.
And voila! A round of applause!
Eat this!
Now disappear!
Order guide you.
After all, though, as expected, that... What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but... What? Huh? You mean the girls from... And then... And all the boxes of things. These names. Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain... Mixing in progress. Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep! What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. How can someone write something that terrible in such a matter? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's what. Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. Ah, you mean Vacher is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! No, that's not it either! If that's the case, in any case... Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water! That means this is where they make all the sin! If you dilute it with Norm, Paimon will take notes on... Let's see what's written here. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to... This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the old dogs are... He can act whenever... I concur. Let's send some... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. They're all... We've looked at almost everything. Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. That way, even if we bring all this back to the... Sure thing. Nothing at all! And Paimon can't even find snacks either! Whoa, really? Let Paimon see! Vinier. Isn't that Vacher's lover's name? Then you found... Aw, it's just a normal diet... So many! A whole page's worth! The final name she Marcel! Wait, but Marcel's pretty old!
And whose image? Is it a man? Oh.
I've merely surprised.
I was waiting.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you
It's all right, Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence... But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you! You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher!
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vignère's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever. You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Vignère is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she... But I'm not from this blasted place!
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't do you all see? I can't go, I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Calus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vignère. I promise. We made a promise. Vignère. Vignère! Please, Vignère. Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher, and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignère. During an underwater expedition, Vignère accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea, and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others, and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignère back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel, and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Calus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Calus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case is over now.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
Yippee! We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves! Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come.
Yeah. See, Pop?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to, so if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on... According to the judge, Tartaglia is guilty.
What?
Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld. Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Looking at me. I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either! Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Furina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap? Don't tell me you thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an elaborate performance, with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement. And, of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment of the very concept of justice, the Oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment! If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable! All shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo!
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff, so he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just...
What? Give an inch and you want to take...
Paimon agreed!
This request.
Of course! Wait, no.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs? Very well.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do...
Thank you. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and...
Vacher!
Ah!
Yes, that's it! So you heard it too!
Vignere, it's me! It's me, Vacher!
Vacher?
I'm here!
Hey, wait!
Vignere, is that you? It's me, Vacher! Vignere!
Vacher? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. All this time. I must be dreaming. Vignere, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without...
But Vacher, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you. If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vacher. It's all because of you.
You... Wait, you are not Vignere. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignere. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals. But we became one, just as streams of water come together. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vignere.
Why? But then...
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do... You are a liar. The only thing you are not. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignere's, she has...
No! Vignere!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignere.
She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache?
Vache.
Vache!
Vache.
Vache!
Drown.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able...
Huh. Well met, partner.
Even this weather can't...
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia!
Oh. It's just everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he... This time, though. Everyone in Poisson, and even met...
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew...
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Yeah. Way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take... I believe the story was called The True... To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive...
Oh, yeah. She told us about...
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical
Now that's another...
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clarande out for a meal.
Oh, are you two
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, it was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought Clarande...
Anyway, now that... Oh, actually...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's... And on top of that...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. We went...
Sure thing.
And in that case, everyone...
Yeah, you're right. Huh. This is where my...
Huh? There's someone there?
Hmm?
Isn't that Neuvillette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked, but...
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice...
In that case, I will stop apologizing for...
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, there was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were... Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful... I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw... But Mr. Callis proved me up. If not for his sacrifice, Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter. And in the end, from a certain perspective, a justice that's higher than... So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. This regret has filled me with a That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
So, you're actually... what...
Sorry about that.
So Navia... Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. Oh, no. Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around.
it's you two. Did...
We ran into...
I see.
Um...
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor. That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving... Does that appropriately summarize?
That's right! It was...
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words...
A prophecy? Of the...
Two parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising... Speaking of the prophecy, Furina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, if the rumors were true, then
But with Furina being the way...
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? My apologies. However, I still believe the... For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does... As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in that not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, which is all to say I have been prepared for a situation like this.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps, in any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information. Based on Furina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it. While we do intend, if we did...
If you ask Paimon...
Is there any... My apologies. My investigation... However, I still believe... For many years, as a divinely... Not only can it... Which is all to say... I was not a... In any case, based on Furina... While we do intend... If we did...
If you ask Paimon...
Is there any... Your sibling... Another blonde. If he ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera epic. Is there anything else you'd like?
So, at court, the back...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that...
So it really was?
But today, the primordial sea no longer... What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case.
So that's how it is.
Indeed. Why would the primordial... To be frank, is there anything... Very well. It will soon be time for me to leave.
You really are...
Crime and villainy do not have the day off.
Alright. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
There's no way we'll be able to see the stars tonight in this weather. Unless I try making the stars appear anyway.
Welcome to Palais Mermonia.
This is no time for distractions. Seriously, you have a great magician standing right here. You don't want to miss the best part, do you?
Welcome to Palais Mermonia.
I hope the weather's nice like this tomorrow as well.